somebody else's name. So if you're dreaming about California, it don't matter at all where you played before. California's a brand new game. Trying to be your hero, winding up a zero, and scar a man forever, right down to his soul. Living on the spotlight can kill a man outright, 'cause everything that glitters.
Welcome to Almost Famous. This is a show where we'll be introducing you to people that possibly you've seen and you just don't know who they are. Or you may have heard their name and you recognize it. Today's guest is a very famous jazz harmonicist. His name, Michael Fill. Michael, welcome to the show.
Welcome. It's great to be here.
I understand that you started way back when you were 10 years old?
I was about 9 or 10 when I first started playing harmonica. All my friends started playing guitar really fast, learned really fast, and I was pretty slow at it, so I started playing harmonica because they all got on good, really well on guitar really fast, and I was pretty slow, so I started playing harmonica just to annoy them.
And then your first band was, I believe, Blues Before Breakfast?
I had a band called Blues for Breakfast that I put together in about 1984, 1985, somewhere around that area. And started playing around town, and we put out a CD, or an album at the time. They weren't CDs. Toured everywhere, and it ran well for about 10, 12 years.
10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And some very famous people were in there, weren't they?
Oh, we had a lot of different famous musicians. I had Jimmy Smith, the jazz organist, world's greatest jazz organist, play with me. I've had, Don Preston from Leon Russell and Mad Dogs and Englishmen with Joe Cocker and all those guys. A lot of different people in and out all the time. It was always good. Every night was always pretty good.
And you did, I believe you did a video on that one time, didn't you? Where was it?
Oh, we were playing in San Luis Obispo, and they filmed us for the big Mardi Gras festival up there. They videotaped us for a big Mardi Gras festival for like 1,200 people, and they filmed us up there. That was with Rob Rio, who's also the piano player, who's also a big solo artist now. Alex Schultz, the bass player, who's now a world-renowned blues guitar player, and Don Preston. So, yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Well, you've been playing with the best of the best, I should say. Why don't we do a clip from your video, and let's see what it looked like in those days, and then we'll get back to your new CD.
Okay. And yeah, this is probably about 1988 or 89. This is when this video was made in San Luis Obispo, when we all had hair, and it was pretty interesting.
What do you mean when we all had hair? Are they all bald-headed now?
We have more hair then.
The forehead's elongated a little bit.
We have more hair.
All right, why don't we take a look at that clip right now? Yeah, I liked it. I hope everyone else did. You've come a long way since then. I mean, with your new CD, I believe that was, when did you do that?
My new CD, I just did that in, I think it was February of this year. February, March is when we got it all done. We recorded it in 2 days. We did it live. I did 7 tunes live one day. Went back a couple of days later, did the other 4 tunes. So we have 12-song CD. So we knocked it out pretty quick. I didn't mess around. I wanted to get it done and get it out.
What's your favorite song on that album?
I like them all. I'm a little spoiled that way. I like the Blue Burbank one. That seems to be the one everyone seems to like. The G thing, I love playing that every night. When I play live, I love playing the G thing. That's the first
I like
song
the
on
G
it.
thing too.
Yeah.
I like the Funky Pussycat.
The Funky Disco Pussycat, which is a friend of mine. That was a girl that I knew. That was her bumper sticker. That was what her little name was. And I said, you know, that'd be a great name for a song.
Well, I have a copy of it here. If we can just get a little shot of it. Okay, that looks pretty good. You know, I was looking here, you have quite a few people on here that are very well known. Marcy Levy, for instance. I think she wrote one of the songs, didn't she?
Yeah, she sang on the second song called The Winner, which John Marks, the guitar player on it, wrote. But Marcy Levy, she wrote Lay Down Sally with Eric Clapton. That's her singing the background vocal with Eric Clapton. She was with Eric Clapton for, off and on for, boy, since like 1971 or 72, you know. She's also singing on Eric Clapton's You Look Beautiful, You Look Lovely Tonight. She was with Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band for years. So she's quite a singer. So I work with her sometimes, and I called her up and I said, do you want to come down and sing on one? So she drove down, walked in the studio, sang one song, said I got to pick my kid up from soccer practice, and that was it.
You know, I went into Cozy's one night, and I saw all of you guys playing. Marks especially, he's great.
John Marks.
Yeah, who's he been with?
John Marks has been around forever, it seems like, but he was with Captain and Tennille. He was the main guitar player with Captain and Tennille through their big heyday in the 70s, you know, with their TV show and everything else. And he was a house session guy out at Rumbo Studios, which Daryl Dragon, the captain, owned the studio out in West Hills, Rumbo Studios, where all the Beach Boys did all their recordings at and everything else. So he's got he's got a pretty good sized musical history, and we still play every night. You know, it's in our blood. You know, that is our day job. You know.
You play out there every Monday night, you say?
Every Monday night. We've been there for 8 years, and as long as the club stays open, we'll be there, and there's no end in sight.
Oh, fantastic. And you guys do great out there. Why don't we do a couple of songs from the album? I'll tell you what, I'd like to see them do the G Thing, and maybe the Funky Disco Pussycat. How's that?
Okay, great.
Okay, let's go to that right now. fantastic. Fantastic. I loved it. Listen, some of the older fellows that were playing harmonica way back in the 1920s, like Paul Butterfield. Oh, it wasn't Butterfield. I think Carrie Bell was back in the 20s, wasn't he?
No, he's more. No, Carrie Bell was in the late 40s and early 50s. He's still around today. Carrie Bell's still playing today, and he's a brilliant Chicago blues player. He's a huge influence on me.
How about Rick Estrin, Little Charlie and the Nightcaps?
Rick Estrin and Little Charlie and the Nightcaps, those guys, I love them. They're a great band. They still tour all over. They're a real entertaining band. They're great. With his personality, he's got this classic personality. They still play all over the world. I love them dearly. Little Charlie and the Nightcaps, great band.
Paul Butterfield, what do you think of him?
Now, Paul Butterfield was a huge influence on me through school, because when I was in elementary school, junior high school, that's right when Woodstock started coming out. You know, when Woodstock came around in 1969, Paul Butterfield Blues Band, that was a huge influence on me through school. And he was my major influence. That led me into more blues when I started listening to Butter.
How about one of my favorites, Little Walter Jacobs?
Now, Little Walter was a master. See, Little Walter was from Chicago in the late 40s and early 50s. Now, Paul Butterfield, listening to Butterfield, I was like, I had to figure out where he learned everything from. So the more I got into Butterfield, that led me down to once I found Little Walter, I started listening to Little Walter records and Muddy Waters and all the Chicago blues greats. And that's what really got me turned around when I started listening to Walter. Now, he was a master of it. So he influenced all other generation of the harmonica players, you know, all the Paul Butterfields, the Rick Estrins, the Rod Piazzas, the William Clarks. It all came down from listening to Little Walter. He was a master of it.
One of my favorites. And when I was a kid, and I might be dating myself on this one, was the Harmonicats. You know, the five guys that played. One guy played a harmonica that was about 2 foot long. The other one played one that he could put inside of his mouth. One was a midget, and the other guy was very tall, and there were three of them in between. Wonderful, entertaining people.
Oh, they were great. I loved them. They fascinated me when I was a little kid. That's one thing that was a major thing that got me into playing harmonica, too, was watching those guys on TV, on a couple of old movies. I was totally fascinated by them. I just could. That's all I wanted to do when I was, was a small child, because I loved them dearly.
You played at the House of Blues, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've played there a couple of different times. I've played there with my own band, and I've also played there with Jimmy Smith, the jazz organist, and I love that place.
And let's see, your CD, you have that online, don't you?
Yes, I have that online for sale, and you could always...
Michael Fell and his so-called friends.
Michael Fell and his so-called friends, I think,
What a bunch of wonderful people they are.
Oh, they are. They're great. They're great. And I did this, that's why I named it, because I thought, after I started making the CD, I was thinking maybe I should call this What the Hell Was I Thinking?
Didn't you do an introduction to some very famous bands?
Introduction is like...
Yeah, you guys...
we opened up for them?
Yes.
We've opened up for... I've opened up for everyone from B.B. King to, Johnny Winter. I've played on blues festivals when I've played on blues festivals with Jimmy Smith. I've been on festivals with Etta James, Bo Diddley, everybody. James Cotton, everybody. All the, you name it, I've seen them.
And you've talked to them all, and you love them,
we meet them all. I love them dearly, and they're all great.
Who was your favorite there?
I think I played the Sacramento Blues Festival one year, and we opened up for B.B. King followed us. Mm-hmm. So I was standing in the back talking to B.B. King and Junior Lockwood and all the famous blues guys. All the big Chicago blues guys were all back there eating barbecue, having a ball. What an education. It was just, what an education, just to stand around and talk to those guys.
I believe Dave Wharton wrote an article one time in the LA Times about you guys banging out the blues in Tarzana.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were playing, there used to be this little English pub right on Reseda Boulevard, right at Reseda and Ventura, called Bangers. And we used to play in there every Tuesday night. So one night a writer came in and he was wondering, what is an English band, what is a blues band doing playing in an English pub? And he thought, well, this will make a great article. So they came in, so they brought in the writers one night, brought in the cameras, and they filmed us playing, taped, took a bunch of pictures. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, it comes out in the LA Times, and next thing you know, now the place is packed. There used to be like 3 people that used to come in there, watch us play, Next thing you know, they're lined out the door every Tuesday night for like about 3 or 4 years, you know, because we do this big Tuesday night thing every week. So it was great.
Anything coming up that we should know about?
Cozy's every Monday. I'm there all the time. We're going to be out at the Doom Room a lot, out in Malibu, which is another little bar we play out there. I'm all over town with another band called the Magpies, which they keep me busy. Like every weekend we play Residuals, a place called the Sapphire out in Alhambra, a lot in the South Bay area down in Hermosa Beach. Then with John Marks every Monday night over here at Cozy's, over here every Monday night, 9:30. That Monday night thing, that's great. We've been there for just about 8 years now.
Who's the drummer there? I was impressed with him.
That would be Brian Head, and he's phenomenal. I love him dearly. He's a great drummer. He's a busy guy. Trying to get him down, trying to get him in one place all the time is a pretty hard job, but we get him because we love him.
Any new CDs in the works?
Yeah, there's always something in the works like that too. We're already working on another one here. I'm working on another one, and this one is still keeping me pretty busy, but that's the good thing about music is that you can play one CD, you do one, and then all of a sudden you're thinking of another one. So yeah, there'll be another one in the works soon.
Okay. How would you like to do your favorite?
Oh,
How
Blue
would you
Burbank?
like to do Blue Burbank for us?
You want to play it, or
Yeah, play it. Let me hear it.
That's a piece of it there.
That's a piece of it. Let's talk about Rick Reed.
Oh, Rick Reed. Rick Reed's the bass player on that album. He's great. He plays upright. In fact, he lives right around the corner. In fact, I wrote one of the songs. He has this little rehearsal studio right around the corner over here, and it's called The Bunker, is what he calls it. So I have a tune on the album called Hunker at the Bunker, because we went over there and rehearsed one day, wrote all the tunes, and I needed a title. He's a great guy. He's the one, and he's another great guy too. He tours with everybody, with all the great Chicago blues acts all over Europe. He's over there with Marcy Levy, with all the great Chicago guys too. Great guy. So who else do I have on there? John Marks.
Well, how about B.B. Chung King?
Now, B.B. Chung King, he's a pretty amazing guy. He's a guitar player that I did. He also owns a studio where I recorded the album at, with the CD at, called Doghouse Studios over in Burbank. He's an Asian guitar player with his band called B.B. Chung King and the Screaming Buddha Heads. And he's very popular around town. I was really surprised. He's got his own record deal out. He's got at least 5 or 6 CDs out, and his studio. He's doing really well.
John Marks. John Marks is excellent.
Oh yeah, yeah. I call him the musical encyclopedia. He's a blues and jazz historian. He's the one that he works hard.
Well, you know, we'll be doing this show once a week, hopefully,
Oh, really?
and I hope that everyone turns in to our channel and takes a look at it. I'd like to have you back again sometime with your group if we could.
Oh, I would love it. They would love it too. I've already talked to them about it. They would love to do it.
Any new songs in the works that
We
you're
always
working
got
on?
new songs. We're always it's constantly. That's what all we do is constantly make up. We always have new songs, new material. That's what keeps us going. It's like that's our drug, you know, is our music, you know.
Drug of choice, huh?
Yeah. It's getting up and playing every day.
Keeps you awake
know.
in the morning,
Oh,
puts you to sleep at night.
that's it, you know.
Blues for breakfast, blues for lunch, blues for dinner.
That's right. It's an addictive. The music is very addictive, and the more you learn it, the more you want to learn it. The more you get into it, the more you want to play it. You know. So yeah, it's something that you're always going to be doing.
Well, I never did play an instrument, but the best thing I could do is play the radio or television.
I do that really well too.
Listen, I want to thank you for coming by, Michael.
Oh, thank you very much for having
It was a
me.
wonderful visit. I want to thank you for the album,
Oh, thank you.
and I will be playing it many times.
Thank you very much. And if you want to look for the album, you could always find me online. Michael Fell, just do a search. You can find me right there for the CD, for more information on the CD.
I'll be looking for your next album.
Oh, so will
I played this one so many times I don't know exactly what to do.
Oh, it's a great album. I'm very
All right.
happy with it.
All right, well, thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.
All right, well, thank you very much for having me.
And thank you, too.
Trying to be a hero, winding up a zero, can scar a man forever, right down to his soul, living on the spotlight. Can kill a man outright, 'cause everything that glitters is not gold, and all the gold in California is in a bank in the middle of Beverly Hills. All